Hey guys, it's Jessica with Rochelle Aesthetics, aka your favorite SD bestie, and you are tuning in with Champagne Vibes with Angel LaShonn.
Step into the champagne vibes. Come and catch the vibe. Step into the champagne vibes. Come and catch the vibe.
Welcome to Champagne Vibes with Angel LaShonn, me of course, duh. And today I'm going to talk with my esthetician, Jess.
Hi.
She's going to teach us how to get the glow because people have been asking me about my skin for so long, and I'm ashamed to say that for several years, my skin regime was Dove soap and Nivea. Imagine me telling other adults to use Dove soap and Nivea. Disaster. So I finally grew up and decided to try Jess out, and she stuck with me. So, Jess.
We're stuck with each other. So yes, Angel came to me. That story of the Dove soap and Nivea is just will forever vex my soul. But I will get over it one day. One day I will definitely get over it. But yeah, she came to me and it was just all about getting a good skin routine. And a lot of times people just don't know where to start. They go on social media and they're just like, I want this, but they don't know what their skin type is at all. So that's where I come into play.
So you're the expert, and tell us about your business.
So Rochelle Aesthetics, I am a licensed esthetician. I'm also an aesthetics instructor. But my business, I focus on preventative and corrective skincare treatments. So when you came in, you talked about, you don't want to age, like right up that alley. I'm here to help you with all your not aging, staying 12 forever needs.
I don't want to grow up. I'm like a Toys R Us kid for sure, and I'm pushing 40.
40 where?
Period. Thanks to Jess.
And she listens.
Outside of skincare, and we will continue to talk about that because we want to talk about getting the glow, but I feel like the glow starts within. It starts with what you put in your body, with your stress levels. Like, she'll get on me if I had a lit week and I go in there the week that I had a lit week. She's like, what have you been doing? Because I'm noticing a difference and your skin isn't usually like this. And I'm like,
Right.
I've been drinking Prosecco a lot and smoking hookah. And she's like, okay, so you're dehydrated. So let's talk about that.
Dehydration is one of the biggest things that people just, for some reason, they're just, hey, why do I need to hydrate? So hydration plays a big part of just like our cellular turnover, just when our skin's healing and regenerating new skin cells, right? So as we get older, yes, that word again, old again, our cellular turnover, our skin just kind of decreases over time at the rate, it's like 21, 30 days. But when we do things like drinking alcohol, drinking coffee.
Let's toast to that.
Okay, in this one occasion, toasting, everything is in moderation, right? So drinking alcohol, coffee, all these things that will exacerbate dehydration, we have to just be mindful of what it is we're putting in our body and replenishing things like water and with our diet too. Every issue we have always results in gut health too at the end of the day, and I don't think a lot of people realize that. If you deal with personal training or when we're go to your doctor, they may times ask you about what's your diet like. And you're like, why do they want to know about my diet? Everything's connected.
So what do you recommend for someone that's having skin issues and they're like, whoa, maybe it's my diet? Like, what could they do better?
So it really all depends on what's happening, what the skin issue is. So like if they have more acneic type skins, that pretty much indicates to me that they are eating more fried foods, probably more sugary, caffeinated drinks. So they need to balance their diet with more fruits and vegetables, limiting the caffeine. First of all, too, I'll say this. I love some fried chicken. So as much as I get on all my clients about this all the time, again, being intuitive about what it is that you're doing, just kind of laying back. So it's all going to show in your face in some form or fashion.
So basically, everything you do it in moderation and definitely incorporate a lot of water.
Water for sure.
Because you don't want to look like a dry-faced hoe. Okay.
A California raisin. You don't want to look like a California raisin.
Sorry, I had a ratchet moment. I think I tapped into like my
It's okay.
JT like city girl mode because I love her. So anyhow, all right, Jess. So if you could describe your strengths as far as being an esthetician is concerned, like give me 3 of them.
Long pause, sorry. Anytime someone asks me this, I always go back to my military background, right? Everything, who I am, plays a lot of part of my military service. So I'm a military vet, United States Air Force, did military police, 3 combat tours. So just being able to be resilient.
Thank you for your service.
Thanks.
Carry on.
Yeah, being able to be resilient. A lot of times too, people aren't disciplined at all. And that's just me being real about, I can't sugarcoat that any type of way, but being disciplined, resilient, and just carrying on. I mean, that's just a saying that we always say, like in the service, like carry on. It's kind of loaded to like, well, what does that mean? Carry on, like just carry on. Things are going to happen. You got to keep pushing forward and moving forward. And life be lifing sometimes.
Life is gonna life.
Life be lifing a lot. So a lot of times I'm just having to remember, like, all right, remembering my why and being resilient, being disciplined. And if I want this for me and this success and certain levels for my business or just myself, I have to be disciplined in the things that I want.
So we always hear people saying like, know your purpose, know your why. But some people might not even know what that means. Like, what is a why? So what is your why?
So, oh, Angel, put me on the spot.
Of course.
I'm going to be 100% honest with you here. I didn't realize my why or purpose until maybe about 3 years ago. If you were to
I
tell
think that's
me,
okay.
if you would have told me like, hey, would you see yourself where you are right now? I would have been like, nah, I could never in a million years imagine. But my why is just remembering where I've been and knowing that I got through the things that I did and I didn't come this far to get this far. So my why is my family. Just me knowing that I once upon a time used to be at a place where it was really low. You know, we all suffer with some type of mental health issues, you know, stuff like that. That's my why, knowing that I was able to pick myself out the ashes, the phoenix rising type of situation. Yeah.
So what I'm seeing, like the people what's consistent when it comes to winners, and winning is a different definition for each person,
Right?
Because it's based on the goals that you want to reach, right? So for one person, winning may be like being a mom, having a family, being the best wife that she can be. For someone else, it can be, you know, having a business, like making it to $1 million and then exceeding from there. Like for someone else, it could be, I graduated from college and was the first in my family to do it. But in winning, it seems like everyone's message is to press, right? But it's like sometimes we get caught up in where we expect to go or where we see ourselves going, and we get stuck there. And it sounds like you had an idea 3-4 years ago of where you wanted to go and what you saw yourself doing, but when did the pivot take place?
The pivot took place when I decided to leave my corporate job 3+ years ago. It's almost 4 years now. And decide, you know what, I want to focus on skincare, right? I didn't know what that meant at the time, but I left a nice cushiony corporate job. And at that time for me, it was about being happy and just secure. Like nobody, again, I always talk about the mental health thing too. And I know sometimes in our sessions, like, well, you know, we catch up and The running joke with estheticians is we're low-key therapists too.
Yeah.
in a way.
Because, I'll spill it.
Yeah, so, but it's just like being mindful in the moment that you're in too. Also recognizing, okay, this is where I was pressing forward. But 3 years ago, I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. Can I cuss on this show?
Yes.
Sorry. Fuck it. I want to be happy at this point, and this is what I'm going to do. And the worst thing that could happen is that it fails, but at least I'm trying.
Mm-hmm. So when you stepped into that mode and you decided, I'm about to give this 100% because that's what you did, what did you experience in between, the process?
Ooh, child.
Like from point A to point B, which is where you are now. Like, kind of describe that real quick for me.
A lot of changes just within myself, my circle of people that I associated with myself with, the things that I thought that mattered, no longer mattering anymore. So many things changed. So it just really put me in a place of taking self-inventory. And just like what truly matters for me in this moment, in this trajectory for myself right now.
So would you say like decisions, like making difficult decisions kind of got you to where you are now?
Absolutely. Making difficult decisions as in letting certain people go too. That's family included a lot of times. And that's a hard pill to swallow sometimes for some people.
It's very hard.
But yeah.
I think that when you step out on faith and you have people close to you that don't get it, you either have to break away from that until you get to where you need to be, or it can become discouraging. And for me, like in my life, the hardest thing is to recognize, like, although it's your family or your close friend or whatever the case may be, and they've been around for so long, when you have a vision, that might not always be their vision, and you have to understand and respect it and make the decisions that you need to make to stay in line with your vision.
And that's it.
Everything will come together when it needs to, but when you need to break away, you got to be okay with it.
Yeah, with that being said, up until that moment, I moved and operated, let's just even talk about my service in the military, was to appease somebody else. Like I did it because my dad was in the service too, or my grandfather, and I'll make them somebody proud. But it was just like, what is it I want to do, regardless if anybody else understands that or not. And in doing so, I found my passion and my purpose, which I'm just like, oh, here it is. It's just like, it just came naturally to me once I let go of trying to appease other people.
So it sounds like you became more self-aware and decided to go with you and go God.
Absolutely.
Would you say that?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So let's talk about how to get the glow, because we've talked that is really how to get the glow internally. Because when you glow inside, it shows on the surface. So let's get to the surface. What would you say for someone that just has normal skin? We won't get into the complications. If you have complications, you definitely need to come see Jess or find an esthetician in your area. But when it comes to having, I guess you would call it normal skin.
Yeah, balanced skin.
Okay, balanced skin. What tips would you give to keep that consistent?
So definitely get a cleanser that is for your skin type. But with knowing that too, you're gonna have to change your cleanser at least 2 or 3 times out the year, because a lot of times they'll use something throughout the whole year and they're like, my skin's being funny. Like, you have to switch it up. So a cleanser for sure, of course, for your skin type, some type of exfoliation, and a good moisturizer, SPF. All 3 of those are like the main components of just keeping your skin balanced. But again, making sure there's so many different products out there on the market for different skin tone, not tones, but skin types. Going to your esthetician, because if you're not sure what my skin type is, go to your esthetician, get a skin analysis, understand do I have normal oily skin, whatever the case is, and get those products and start your day-to-day.
So I would say definitely invest in yourself, even if it's going to get a consultation and going to visit when you can based on your budget. But you gotta live in this skin forever. And what do they say? Love the skin you're in.
Love the skin you're in.
Because you can pack on makeup, but if your skin isn't right underneath it, it's not gonna be flawless. So with that being said, what's the best advice you've ever received as far as your grind is concerned?
Just to always listen. And what I mean by that is always, we're in a way always a student. Like you're never not, no one's yes, there's experts, right? But I'm even in the position that I'm in, I'm always seeking more knowledge as to what it is and just more advancements of just what I'm doing in my profession and then just life in general. So listen and continue to be a student.
Always, right? So that's the best advice you've ever received. What's the best advice you can give for those that either want to be an esthetician or just want to start their own business and may be afraid to leave their corporate job?
So this is in general, not this is for aesthetics, this is for whatever you want. Get out of your own way. Get out of your head.
I love that.
Like, I'm saying this from a place where I was there. I was just like, but what if and it was finally, I was just, all right, let's go. Just sometimes we are in our own way and so much than anything else. It's not about other people. A lot of times it's ourselves. We're the roadblock.
We hold ourselves back. And I'm an
Yeah.
overthinker, so I can definitely relate to that. So get out of your own head. Please. You heard it best from Jess.
Get out of your head, please.
And I agree. So we're going to toast to getting out of your head and not holding yourself back. Thank you, Jess, for coming on and being a part of the show. And y'all go and get the glow, okay?